Hello everyone and welcome back to A Wild Approach. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Hoary Mountain Mint, Pycnanthemum incanum, one of my favorite herbaceous perennials of all time. Hoary Mountain Mint gets 3 to 6 foot tall and 2 to 4 feet wide. Even though it says that it can get 3 to 6 feet tall, it's typically only going to grow 2 to 3 feet tall, so keep that in mind when deciding where in your border to plant it. And it's going to grow different sizes depending on how much moisture the area gets and how happy it is in that spot. It likes full sun, partial shade, good drainage, moist soil, and it can handle occasionally dry soil. It's well suited to the mountains and the Piedmont. And here is its native range according to the bonap.org website. What I personally love about this plant is it gives you that blue-green color, that frosted look, even in the summer, and it just stands out against a lot of the other native plants in the garden. But even better than that is the fact that it attracts so many pollinators. I mean, so many. All of the mountain mints are pretty attractive to pollinators in general, and some of the best plants you can put in your garden. Now, some people like to say that mountain mint is aggressive, but this can depend on the species. In my opinion, mountain mint in general, its aggressiveness can just depend on which species you're talking about and what kind of garden it is in. Because if it's really happy, it might spread more than if it's in a garden that it's not as suited for. But it also depends on the species, right? Certain species are more likely to spread. For instance, I've heard that clustered mountain mint is much more likely to spread than hoary mountain mint. But I'll let you be the judge of that in your own gardens. I personally really like plants that spread a lot, as long as they're native, obviously, because it can help in a situation where you have a lot of non-native invasives, or you have a problem with Bermuda grass and other non-native turf grasses that always seem to pop up in your garden beds. Native aggressive plants can really help beat back things like this. It doesn't mean you're never going to have weeds in your garden and you're never going to have non-natives pop up and invasives pop up. But what it does mean is you'll have less of that happening and you will have less work to do in your garden. So I think that aggressive native plants, or as I like to call them, vigorous native plants, are extremely useful in a lot of our gardens, especially in gardens where you do deal with a lot of these non-native invasive plants coming in. Mountain mint also has a beautiful intense fragrance, and I love smelling it as I walk through the garden. Not to mention the fact that the flowers are also really beautiful and interesting and just different than most of the other native plants in the garden. Hoary Mountain Mint also attracts swallowtail butterflies in particular, as well as a lot of our bees. Hoary Mountain Mint has a very pretty form to it, but I do recommend that you plant it among other plants of a similar height, and maybe do shorter plants in the front of your border and the taller plants at the back, and then the medium-sized plants in the middle. And I consider Hoary Mountain Mint more of a medium-sized plant, and so I like to have it more in the middle of a bed, but I do kind of have it near the edges of certain areas. And so you'll live and you'll learn, and I do think that there is a really good spot to put it in these types of gardens. I have my mountain mint, or at least some of my mountain mint, growing right alongside my wild bergamot. And let me tell you, wild bergamot and hoary mountain mint together, it's a gorgeous combination, and the pollinators go insane for it. They just go wild for it. This plant can be used to help stop erosion, it's drought tolerant, and it grows well even in dry soils. Overall, I consider this a low maintenance plant that I would happily add to any garden that had the conditions that it desired. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope you come back for more. Happy gardening, everyone. Bye. Coming soon to the MacyLou.com shop is this brand new oil painting that I did titled Pluck, featuring a few little native plants you'll see in the painting. If you want to support this channel, you can soon go to MacyLou.com/shop and find this painting for sale. And if the painting is already sold, hopefully by then I will have some prints also in the shop. So thank you guys so much for supporting this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. To support the channel, like the video, comment, and subscribe. You can also support my work by buying art from me at MacyLou.com. Thanks for watching!